What is happening, YouTube? Oh my goodness. The headache still continues. 6 game losing streak, brother? That is unbelievable. That is pretty putrid. Uh, Words cannot describe how the Clippers been doing. Um, Last night, though, which was, when the Clippers played against the Nuggets, Clippers did show better resiliency, but end of the day, you gotta get the win. You got to get a win eventually. You cannot be losing like this. Um, it's still the beginning of the season. That is true. But man, 6 game losing streak. I don't know, man. I mean, I get it. Like you could start off slow, but like you should have beat the Memphis Grizzlies, man, on the other day, on Sunday, with pretty much nobody, without even G.G. Jackson, my favorite player. I thought if the Clippers were going to get lit up by the Grizzlies, I thought at least because G.G. Jackson was going to play. But no, it was just Bane. It was just Jaren. I didn't watch the game. I just strictly watched the Chargers that day. Same schedule. I just felt the Lions versus the Chargers was like the prime time game, so I just chose to watch that. Um, but both teams lost, so that was not a good day for me. But lost to the Grizzlies. Let's see, who do we lose before? I even forgot about the teams we lost. We lose to the Nets without Cam Thomas. Um, the Knicks. The Knicks, they could be a good team, but come on, it's still the Knicks. We lost to the Lakers, which was a good game. Not too mad about that, but the New York teams and losing to the Grizzlies, that's what makes me pretty disappointed. Is it 5 game? Is it 5 game or 6 game? I don't game losing streak. I don't even remember. I kind of like lost track at this point because Clippers been taking L's for pretty much the week, right? The week. Like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this team. Um, like like I said, like if we be losing to like good team, if it wasn't like we lost to the Knicks, Nets, um, tanking Grizzlies. Um, I wouldn't be as mad, but of course I would still be really bummed out that we've been on this much of a losing streak. And let's just say the Clippers have been messing with my mental health, like not just throughout I've been playing this season, but mainly it starts from the general manager. Um, his moves have been really suspect. Not even just about the James Harden trade. The whole entire year, if I'm being honest with you. Um, if the Clippers manage to lose against the Rockets on Friday, I hope we don't. But again, don't underestimate the Houston Rockets now. The Rockets, they've been on a hot streak lately. I know like they may look like they're tanking, but nah, Jalen Green's finally developing. They got vets like Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, and they got Alperen Sengun. Um, and then they got Ime Adoka, who's a pretty good coach. And they got Asar Thompson. And then Cam Whitmore, I don't think he's playing on the actual team. He got sent out to the G League, but still, they got a pretty deep team. And you never know. I hope we don't lose though, but if we lose, it would suck. But I'm not gonna be too surprised. But that was just my verdict on the future. But I pray maybe the Rockets could be the team that the Clippers will pick up on. But anyways, let's get to the stage. Paul George, shout out to him. Out of all the people on the Clippers, he was the guy who showed up. 35 points. He was making everything. He kept the Clippers in the game. 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists. Pretty efficient night. Um, I will say though, it would have been nice if he was able to tie the shot, but I mean, what else he could have done? You know what I'm saying? Um, he played top notch. Kawhi Leonard, he started off pretty abysmal. Um, but you can also argue that a lot of shots of Kawhi Leonard pretty much was taken away from Harden and Westbrook. So if Kawhi had more shots though, um, maybe things would have been different. Because I believe I heard like a little audio, like someone interviewing Aaron Gordon, and he said like, with Harden and Russ. Well, mainly I think it was just Harden. With Harden, things is a bit easier for the Nuggets because more shots are taken from Kawhi Leonard, and when Kawhi Leonard has less shots in his hand, um, you know, things are not like things would make the Clippers have a disadvantage because when Kawhi has a lot of shots on his hands, he's pretty damn efficient, bruh. But no excuse though. He started off cold. He was missing a lot of shots. Like definitely got to step it up. But I will say during the clutch, he stepped up on defense. He almost caused the Clippers to go to the overtime. He got like so many steals, 5 steals. That's unbelievable. Um, so at least on defense, it was there. It's just offense need to click. But at the same time, though, that's just how Kawhi is as well. Regular season, he kind of starts a little slow, but when it's playoff time, though, he goes crazy. All right, let's not forget what he did against Dallas Mavericks. Dude dropped 40. When the game was on the line, he's him, and that's what we just need. Um, Kawhi just to be healthy. That's what the Clippers always could have asked for. Um, Ivica Zubac, um, he looked better. He looked better compared to the New York games, and in the Grizzlies game, I couldn't like give a true judgment on that, but he did do better. He got rebounds. His defense was better. His offensive end was not the best. Um, he went 2 for 8. Um, like sometimes like he kind of drops the pass a decent amount of time when it would be with like Russ and Harden. Sometimes Harden he be doing a little too much, man. But Russ, it was catchable. So Zubac, could have tried to catch the pass better as usual. But other than that, he did do better. He did do better. Russell Westbrook. If you look at the stats, it looks pretty ugly. 4 for 12 is not it. He was missing a lot of layups that he should have made. But if you watch the game, it's different. This man, he was playing extremely hard as possible. Defense, it was pretty good. Um, and especially he will always be trying to get steals. When even Jokic, like when someone tried to like make a pass to Jokic, Russ got an interception. He basically was playing football. And in my opinion, one thing that Ty Lue messed up tremendously was not closing with Westbrook. By the way, to put Westbrook in the closing lineup, even if you had to take out James Harden. James Harden, he did do good tonight, but towards the clutch, he was kind of like, I would say, like kind of like a no-show. He was getting targeted on defense. Should have went with closing with Russ, because with Russell Westbrook, you would have got better defense. Offense was better, and pretty much you would bring that contagious energy. Russ, he was getting to the right places. He would either like pass it to someone, or he would get into the right position and then someone would get the assist. Especially that Zubac pass to Russ. Shout out to Russ. He did what he could. Should have played more, in my opinion. Um, James Harden, he was a bucket. He was a bucket. 4 assists, 2 rebounds. I could ask that he could play better defense. Reggie Jackson was having his way with him. Um, and then towards the clutch, he was like kind of quiet. That's why I like closing with Russ would be a better decision. Um, PJ Tucker, wow! Shout out to this man, PJ Tucker. He was playing very hard. He was playing defense. He actually gave Jokic some trouble, even though he was only 6'6". I'm pretty impressed. Like he kind of like was very physical. First time, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw PJ Tucker with the Lakers, I was way too scared that he was just gonna be another liability. But when I saw him against one of the New York teams, um, it was the Knicks. I kind of like started to see what he can actually do. And after the game, when it was like the Clippers versus Lakers, I'll be watching like past videos of Primetime Sports podcasts talking about how good PJ Tucker was, to kind of like reassure myself to be a little patient on him. And then and I trust my guy Primetime Sports podcast. He's very good at knowing a player that is that is like a diamond in the rough. Um, he was like one of the OGs who was pushing for the Clippers to get Russell Westbrook even when it was not popular, and now it looks amazing. And then he was pushing for PJ Tucker to be part of the Harden package, and then I also hit him up too, talking about hey, like is he like does he like start off slow sometimes and maybe picks up later, and then reassured me that you know he's definitely going to step up eventually. And then I just took a deep breath and said, hey, it's just his first game, and sometimes like when it's a player's first game on a new team, of course he's not gonna look as good at times because you're playing in a whole new environment and you're just getting used to people around you. You're just trying to get a feel of it. Um, it even applies to like a bigger player. For example, Victor Wembanyama. He was like the number one pick. He was widely hyped up. He is the next big thing. But when Wembanyama started playing with the Spurs, first game in the Summer League, people were literally jumping on his neck. They were saying he's a bust, he is overhyped, he was terrible. Like, it's just his first game, man. He's trying to get used to his teammates and all that. And of course, shots are not going to fall in, but that's just part of the game. But look at Wembanyama now. He's hooping, man. He did have a rough game though against the Oklahoma City Thunders, but he'll have time. He'll have time. He's gonna be pretty darn good. He might not even win Rookie of the Year because Chet is like a super freshman, but Wembanyama's gonna be fine. He's gonna be amazing. So that's how I kind of like took about PJ Tucker. But and then look, PJ Tucker, he stepped up. He plays hard. 5 rebounds. Stats don't look pretty, but he does what he could. He hustles. He brings the grit. He kind of brings that toughness that Patrick Beverly would bring for the Clippers, but except he's like a 6'6" power forward. Um, I will say though, I would not like him to play center because it's eventually it's kind of hard for a guy who's 6'6" to always guard a post. But he can hold his own when you need him to. But I'll get into that later. Terrence Mann, he also plays hard too. Gets 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Um, didn't score whatsoever, but he was a glue guy. He's another guy that a lot of teams will love. Don't show up too much on the stat sheets, but he always brings um, what a team needs. Norman Powell. Norman Powell, he was hitting key shots that the Clippers need. Um, Again, he's kind of like another player that starts off slow, but later on a season, um, you know, his, he picks it up. Of course, he's not gonna be perfect every game, but he was pretty good this game, in my opinion. Defense though was actually better, because Norman Powell, his defense gets suspect at times, but at the same time, it's not like a complete 100% traffic cone. He's solid at getting to the free throw line. That's that's one huge benefit. Um, but Ty Lue, he's looking like his old ways. His rotations for this game was way too short. Um, Diabate, Bones, Kobe Brown, they all got DNP'd. Diabate was the main guy, in my opinion, that should have got minutes. Even Bones Highland as well too. But I guess since you have Harden, it's kind of hard to play him. So I may give him a slight pass on that, but you should still try to find a way to split minutes to get Bones Highland to, like on the floor. I feel like the rotation's just way too short. Maybe like take some minutes from the stars, man, and just give it to some guys like Bones and especially Diabate. Because let's be real, when Zubac subs out, Diabate should immediately go in. When Ty Lue decides to run his quote unquote small ball, um, it should be Diabate in there rather than um, you know, a ridiculous, crazy small ball five. Instead of like, PJ Tucker having to guard the five. Maybe like PJ Tucker power forward, Diabate could be like would be like the center, and then I guess you would maybe have some like Russ, maybe Terrence Mann, and then Norman Powell. But then have PJ be the power forward. You know what I'm saying? And then have Diabate play the center. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I don't really like what Tyler's been doing, man. Like expand the rotations. Like so that way, like you could the team could have like a momentum shift, especially when you're having guys like Jokic going crazy. Like if Zubac's not on the floor, Diabate should be playing. Even when Plumlee's healthy, I would personally rather have Diabate because Diabate he plays extremely hard, and he would always try to go for a rebound, play defense, and he's pretty athletic. Yeah, he's skinny, but he's strong. Don't sleep on his strength. Bones Highland too. Should like I don't know. Should find a way to get him some minutes, man. Because especially he's playing against the Denver Nuggets team, and Bones he always play with a chip on his shoulder, brings in momentum. Um, Even Kobe Brown to an extent. Kobe Brown he could do a little bit. Maybe I'd even say like playing him over PJ Tucker would be a better option because he's basically kind of like the same thing, but younger and more beefy. Um, but I won't. It's not like the end of the world that if PJ Tucker plays over Kobe Brown at the moment because PJ Tucker he does play pretty hard, and yeah he may not be able to hit his shots all the time. This game though he was amazing though, 2 for 3. But PJ Tucker would tend to be scoreless, but he does play hard, so it's not the end of the world. But Ty Lue, it's abysmal. It's pretty abysmal with his rotations. His rotations is way too short. You gotta expand it. You just have to. Now let's look at the comparison to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, look at the rotations. It's expanded. Instead of, going like 8-man rotation, Malone would pretty much be like, I would say, a 10-man rotation. I mean, stat-wise, it looks like a 9-man rotation, but he would just expand the rotations. Aaron Gordon, he did his thing. He had his way because Ty Lue decided to go small. Michael Porter Jr., 10 points. He had an off night. 2 for 8 from 3. Even free throw, he was off. But Jokic, he was actually struggling. PJ Tucker gave him a hard time. I felt it would have been better if Ty Lue goes big when Zubac is, on the bench. Or just go big when Jokic's on the floor, man. It don't really work. I get it sometimes. The idea of Ty Lue going small to make sure the offense go quick. I mean, if the Nuggets decide to go small, it's fine. I guess I could live with the Clippers going small too because again, Norman Powell, Paul George. They were all on fire. So it's sometimes it might be a hard call, but when Jokic checks in or any big checks in, just put any of like the big men, like because you still got Musa Diabate. I don't know why he hasn't been getting runs. Um, now Reggie Jackson, Reggie Jackson was having his ways, man. Former Clipper, shout out to him. He was cooking, kind of cooking hard and cooking, but he was just cooking other players too. So he just had a good performance. He was getting chippy with Russ too. Like, nah, come on, Reggie. Nothing but love towards Reggie, but nah, ain't gotta do all that. Cadwell Pope, he had 2 threes, went to the line. Solid role player. Um, Zeke Naji, he's solid. Brought in some energy. 3 rebounds, 3 points. Peyton Watson, um, stats don't look too fancy. He got 4 points, but he plays pretty solid defense. Pickett, 2 for 3, 5 points. Christian Brown, he brings that hustle. 10 points, one rebound, 1 assist. But that's what I'm talking about. That what Tyronn Lue needs to do. Mike Malone, he expands it. He makes the rotations more wide. Ty Lue, his rotations is way too small. Diabate should at least be playing like 20 minutes because when Diabate plays, he brings energy. Clippers need energy, and yeah, the rotation is just way too small. Like you gotta find a way to kind of like get Diabate, Bones Highland 10 minutes, man. Um, I watched a little bit of the Grizzlies game. I thought that rotations wasn't too bad. He actually did do what I requested. Um, could have been more, but it is what it is, I guess. But I don't know. But wait, hold up. I did see a little bit of the clutch time minutes when the Chargers game was at halftime, and Ty Lue, he got to close the Russ, man. Russ, he makes the offense go faster. Clippers were on a huge run when Russell Westbrook was playing, but then once Russell Westbrook was sitting down, the offense slowed down. Like, nah, you gotta play that man. Play that man in the clutch. But anyways, let me know on how you feeling about this game, man, or how the Clippers look in general. Cause oh man, I'm not feeling good. It's rough, man. It's pretty rough. And if the Clippers lose to the Rockets, which I hope they don't, but if they do, I might just have to make a a different type of video that about like the past mistakes the Clippers have done because Clippers for the past years they made so many mistakes that set this team backwards. But anyways, I'm ending this video. Thank y'all really much for tuning in. Definitely leave a comment down below on what y'all think about this team. You think the Clippers could eventually step it up, probably like December, January, or you think this team is pretty much toast. But either way, thank y'all really much, and peace.